USC Associate Head Coach Beth Burns and student athletes Rayah Marshall and Kadi Sissoko. Coach, if you could start us off with an opening statement, then we'll open it up for questions.
Well, first I'd like to say that the most important thing on my mind is that Reese Gottlieb Martin is 12 days old today. And we are all about babies in basketball in USC, and would be remiss if I didn't give some gratefulness to Lindsay Gottlieb for giving me the opportunity to be in this position, and thank you to you for gracing me with allowing me to do this. I think the greatest honor a coach can give someone is to give them their team. It's their life. It's what they do. And I take that responsibility very seriously. With that said, we are an interesting group like no other that I've ever had and been associated with, and I've been doing this for a minute. It's exciting as can be. We have 9 new faces from, I believe, 6 different countries. We're older. We have an old roster. We only have 1 true freshman on the roster in Aaliyah, who's not playing this year. But we don't have, obviously, any kind of experience together. So our challenge is to put it together. I couldn't be more pleased with and appreciative to our players for their efforts. Our effort has been sky high since day one. We have had no effort issues. Our activity level is really high. Our productivity is where we're a work in progress right now. But we have, starting with these 2 young ladies to my left, a really, really talented front line. They'll speak for themselves, but I think, Rayah Marshall you're familiar with as for the things that she did coming on late last season, and I think her running mate here, Kadi, is a reason why Rayah is a new and improved Rayah, not just because she put in work, because Kadi has a speed and a tempo and a skill with her silver medal in the French national team this past year that gives Rayah someone to look up to, or I should say to chase after, because Kadi was in front of her all the time. So it made Rayah change her tempo because she has the same kind of gifts. So we're excited as can be. Destiny Littleton is a big piece for us because she just won a national championship. And if you want to build a culture, it starts with the details, and she knows it. She knows it better than I know it, and she can start with our squad with winning habits and has been another big piece of what we're doing.
Great, thank you. We'll open it up for questions. We'll start in the front left here with Michelle.
Hi, Michelle Smith, Pac12.com. Hi, Beth. Nice to see you.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Good. For the players, what is the biggest challenge, do you think, for being on the court with a lot of players you've never played with before? I mean, I know you guys are getting used to each other, but 9 new players. What's the biggest challenge in that?
Hello, Michelle. Nice to meet you. Well, first thing I'll say, the biggest challenge is just the field, the chemistry. So it's something new for all of us, but I feel one thing that we all do is go hard. So we do know kind of what they expect. I know that every single one of my teammates are going to go hard, but I definitely just say getting comfortable with each other. Does this player like a handoff? Does this player like a screen and roll? Like just, just getting used to what each individual is really more comfortable with.
Yeah, building off of what she said, I think it's very important to, kind of know who does what best and try to put them in the best situation possible for them to succeed. So, yeah, working on our chemistry is definitely something that we need to work on, but I'm excited for it.
I'm going to go to Joan on the right.
Hey, Beth. Joan Bonvicini, Pac-12 Networks. I have 2 questions. First for the players. You're talking about the chemistry. Rayah, I know you're a really talented player. I love watching you. And so, Kadi, right?
Yes.
So, obviously, your inside game's pretty good. But you got to get the ball to you guys. Who are the guards that are really stepping up that you guys trust right now?
They think they're guards, Joan, so they ain't worried about that at all.
Kadi's going to feed me high-low every time.
Okay. But you need some guards. You need 3 other friends out there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, obviously. I think Kayla, Destiny, all the players who are experienced, obviously, are carrying the team right now, and they're, really good players. They're skilled enough to pass the ball inside. And, yeah, like we said, passing the ball to each other too. The connection in the paint is really important. So
For sure. I love all my guards, really. Bella, that's another one. Destiny, they literally, I would say, I love their passes. They're going to throw it in the area where only I can go. They make me feel comfortable leaving my feet, so I'm really appreciative of that.
And you mentioned the 9 new players, but you got a new one here in Beth. So, Beth, why the move back to the West Coast? Was that it? Or, this is a big move for you to come back to the West Coast in California.
Well, Rayah wanted me to say it was because of Rayah, but I really hadn't met her yet, so I can't say that. I would be the first person to tell you that I thought I was going to finish at Louisville and had a fantastic experience and am eternally grateful for it. I think a combination of things. Lindsay and I are probably about as diametrically opposite as people as you can get, but I think we have a great similarity in that we both think outside the box and we both like to color outside the lines. And when she first approached me, I said, Linz, if you just need a recruiting, you need player, if you need a recruiting coordinator, then it'd be silly to get someone like myself. And she said, have I mentioned I'm 6 months pregnant? And I said, no, not at the time. But I think for her, she really wanted some experience on her staff. Mike Bone, ironically, our athletics director, hired me to my first head coaching job at San Diego State a few years ago. And I always had good rapport with him, enjoyed him, appreciated him, stayed in connection with him. So to me, the combination of an administration that gets it, that really wants a team to be successful, and how cool is it for me to help Lindsay? We know we're not where we need to be. SC should be, and we're not, and haven't been since a really long time. So a challenge like no other in the most beautiful state in the United States, why not?
Go to the front left here, and Matthew.
Hi, Coach. Matthew Walter with the Next. You talked a little bit about it in your opening statement, but just what are some of the biggest challenges of trying to implement 9 new faces, most of whom are transfers to this program, and trying to fill it in? And then what have been some of the surprises or the more enjoyable moments of 9 new faces so far?
I think the biggest challenge wasn't, our world now is a portal world. Our world is every year's a new year. Every year's a new roster. So it's not as much that. I think it's really because we knew Lindsay. We tried to do as much as we could while we knew she would still be there. And then I would sometimes tell her, remember, tomorrow you're putting in your press breaks, or next week we're putting in mine. Like there's so many parts of the game, and for their development, it's hard to do in September when you have 4 hours a week when you're going on recruiting trips. So I really appreciated the players' patience as we had a really unorthodox September. We put a lot of stuff in September that I've never done to try to help me so I can help them as we get to this really important month of October. So they're all, everybody has challenges. What a great opportunity. We're from so many different countries. I've learned more in the last month than I can even begin to tell you. They're good kids and they're good people, and everybody's about second chances. We have some on their second and third chance. How cool is that? So let's see if we can make something happen with it.
Got a question from Mel in the back left.
I think I evolved beyond typewriters when I covered you as a player. But with all that, you're the other shoe here. Another year or so, you're going to approach that transition point to the Big Ten. Kind of just speak to that a little bit.
Well, I probably learned about 10 minutes before you did. And I think that, we are great, loyal, long-term members of the Pac-10 into the Pac-12 conference, and we intend to do everything we can to be a wonderful partner for the next 2 years until we move forward.
Got a question from Ann here in the middle on the left, and then we'll go to Cindy after.
And with the Pac-12 networks, Beth, nice to see you, and great to have ladies you up on the stage as well. how can this club surprise some folks? How can this club integrate the personalities and the folks, as Coach said, getting second and third chances, knowing that the freshmen are going to get their time? How can this club surprise some folks? Because on the outside looking in, I'm not sure how much is expected of USC this season. Ladies and Beth.
I mean, honestly, I think we're underdogs, and people don't really expect us to do such great things this year. So the pressure is on us, but like not really at the same time, you know? And I feel like, jumping off what Coach B said, some of us, it's like our second or third chances, you know? So we're just like hungry and we want to prove a lot of things, but we also have experience and we want to show it. We want to prove that we can turn this program around. And I think that's what it takes to be great this year.
Well, for me, also, I agree with Kadi said. For us, I feel like it'll be showcasing our talent as a unit, just being able to show everyone how far we've come as a program with such a, even Coach Beth, our addition, she's amazing, by the way, and all the new faces. It'll be fun to watch us.
Well, being great is really hard, or else there wouldn't be such a line. And I think our challenge in building what Coach G aspires to build is that every day they work. I have no effort issues, and then I get to be the one to tell them that wasn't enough, or we have to do it again tomorrow, because that's what separates, right? And I just told them yesterday at practice that if you can do it, and if you can sustain it, and if you can hang together through the ups and the downs, pretty soon it's less crowded, because as it gets harder, people drop. So I just think we have a wonderful opportunity in front of us. To me, I've been really happy, really sad, really in the middle. I think I've been picked every seed in every conference that there is. And there are nothing like the come up. There are nothing like that. Because who in this room that's been on a really good team likes to play somebody on the come up? You know, nobody does. So it's an opportunity not only for them to experience something, but it's an opportunity to say, yeah, we can. And I think we've got a group that, you know, and how motivating. Your head coach just had a baby. We're all trying to do our part. So when she gets back, it's better than when she left it.
Cindy?
Cindy Brunson, Pac-12 Networks. Rayah, for you, I feel like for your team and the core returners that are coming back, the light bulb went on for you and what Coach G wants to do with this program at Arizona State on Allison's buzzer-beating 3. I remember the joy on everybody's faces, and you busted your tail that day. Was that a seminal victory for this team?
Oh, most definitely. I felt like that set a tempo for us, just proving that we're capable of a lot of things that season. It was also very exciting because we proved to ourselves that whatever we worked for, we could accomplish. It was a great moment for Allison. She's a really good shooter also. I mean, oh my gosh, let me get me started on Allie. But it was a really exciting moment for us. And as a freshman, that game meant a lot for me, being able to showcase my talent at that level.
And then for both of the student athletes, who is your favorite player in the WNBA?
I mean, she retired now, but I would say Simone Augustus. That's someone I always look up to. Her game is just crazy. And one who's currently playing, I would say Rayah Stewart, yeah.
Me personally, probably, that's so hard to just pick one, but I'm probably going to go Candace Parker. And she was actually at Galen Center not too long ago. I actually got the wave at her. Coach G is also a great friend of hers. She's a really good person. And yeah, probably Candace Parker, yeah.
Go to the last question in the back left to Kylan.
Hi, Kylan Mills with Pac-12 Networks. This question is for Coach Burns. I read an article recently that Coach Gottlieb was staying super involved just days before giving birth, firing off text messages, emails, while dealing with a newborn. How closely involved has she been in what you guys are doing? How much have you been able to talk and communicate on a daily basis about what's going on with the team?
Well, she kind of trended that you sit on a physio ball in practice, and I told her she should keep it, and she said, but I won't be pregnant anymore. I said, yeah, but who else sits on a physio ball all the time when they're in practice? So she is super involved. She gave us a great blueprint. I I would tell you this, I don't call her because I let her call me. Obviously, report in, she's an email person, and I'll see that she wrote me back at 3:14 in the morning or some such with that. But she gets video, she watches video, she watches every practice, so she tells me and things like that. So she is very much like, I'm a gatekeeper here. And so I'm trying to do what she wants us to do, but she is very involved. At the same time, there's nothing more important to her than raising that little baby girl and getting her family organized. And as I alluded to earlier, she's put great trust in us. One of our assistants, Dale Farrow, has worked with Lindsay for a long time, worked with her at Cal, and he's been a great help to me because he knows, you can't, just as we can't think through every scenario to teach them, I couldn't have thought through every scenario that's going to come up. How do you think Lindsay would prefer X, Y, Z? And then at the end of the day, we do our best. But she's very much involved.
Yeah, if I could add on to that also, I thought Coach G was actually gonna give birth in practice. She did not want to leave us, and I was so grateful for that. So I remember asking our trainer, I said, "Hey, Erin, have you ever gave childbirth?" She was like, "Absolutely not." But I was like, "Well, be ready, just in case." Yeah, it was really great having her to the moment she stayed.
All right, and with that, thank you so much, Beth, Kadi, Rayah.
Thank you, everybody.
Best
Great
of luck
to see
this
everybody.
season.